Hello, today is October 29th, 2020, and the time is 7:23 a.m. In my previous videos, I talked about, basically, to summarize everything, how there's nothing new under the sun today, and whatever's taking place today is not exclusive to these times, as we see these patterns throughout human history. Now, it can be argued that with today, with the ease of and the quickness of communication, that it appears that things are happening on a larger scale, and it's quite possibly can be, but we don't know, because you can't gauge what we know today and make the assumptions of, for example, yesterday, right? So one of the things that I want to focus on here real quick is the whole idea of snitches or snitching. And, you go back even 40, 50 years ago, this type of behavior was really shunned on, frowned upon, and they had little children phrases, sayings and stuff that really condemn this. Today we see a push for this is a good thing, and in fact, snitches being rewarded.
You know the old expression about snitches? Well, in this case, snitches get rewards. We want to thank you for turning folks in and making sure we are all safe.
The laws are to the point where anybody can be locked up pretty much for any time.
Now, if you go back, for example, to World War II, people were snitching on each other for whatever reason, whether it be out of fear or some personal gain or whatever. People were snitching. And there's actually a story that I heard of yesterday where it was during World War II, and the son had his brother go missing during the war and never knew what happened to him. And it wasn't until the mother's dying moments where she confessed that she turned in her own son, the brother of this one son, to the authorities, and she felt that she did the right thing. And the son that was taken away was never seen again. It can only be assumed that his fate wasn't that good. And then the brother who survived, he dug up some papers or something in the archives and found out that yes. I mean, just to think that a mother can do that to her own son. And I have my own personal stories with these types of family members, but it's remarkable. And like, see, even during World War II, it wasn't just family members turning each other in, it was friends turning each other in. It was just everyone was doing this to each other. And we can go all the way back throughout history. And if you just want to even look at scripture for a second, and this is not going to be the focus of this video, but who turned the Son of the Most High, Jesus, in? It was snitching. So, I mean, there's nothing new to what's happening today. But the people that turn on their own, whether they turn on their own family members, their own friends, their own colleagues, their own acquaintances, their own race, none of these people are trusted. You can't trust these people, because if they can turn on their own, then they can turn on you. So, and we see this pattern repeating over and over, and a lot of people are harping, oh, these are the end times, and we hear this throughout history, and this is where these types of people eventually discredit themselves, because they're too focused on end times, look at everything's unfolding, right? Now, there are things that are unfolding today that couldn't have happened, say, 50, 100 years ago, but it's just one level up, okay? And we see, for example, with the cycles of civilization, we see a big push for most people's dependency on authority types of any kind, and everyone's diverting responsibility of their own survival. A lot of people, especially people within professions, say, well, I have a job to do, I'm just doing my job. People forget each individual, each citizen, whatever you want to call them, each person has a job to do as well. And, for example, survival, looking after your own best interest, self-preservation is another example. We each have our own jobs to do, but everyone's been so socially conditioned that, well, a job is actually, you're getting paid to do. Well, no, we all have jobs to do every day, from morning, brushing your teeth, to the time you go to bed, locking the doors. And because people have been so socially conditioned to divert this responsibility of even their own safety and everything else, and this is where we see laws micromanaging everyone and laws becoming like theoretical mathematics, neither of which now have a basis in reality. People are diverting. They want safe space. They want a safe world, and the world's not safe, unfortunately. People are dying from one thing or another, whether it be from a sickness or through the acts of someone else. You're not going to make it a safe place. And when these events, say violence imposed by a crazy person, well, it happens. No, but imagine if people were able to defend themselves, for example, in a scenario where the monopoly of violence is not given towards, for example, as a general term, governing bodies, where people have that power to take care of themselves. So we see these patterns happening throughout history, and you look out through World War II, how everyone was being disarmed and their rights were being taken away to defend themselves and all this other stuff. I mean, we're just repeating history. It's intense now because, again, with social media and technology and communications being instant and quick, things just seem to be going at a much quicker pace. But it's really interesting. Everyone's talking about these being the last days and everything else. And it's really interesting to see in these last days how Caucasians are being persecuted on a scale unlike before. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.